The following are William and Bonnie Barrett's first-hand account of their encounter with Mr. Griffin. St. Roche Quarantine File 6, St. Roche Hospital, Infectious Disease Ward, January 7th, 1998. Patients, William and Bonnie Garrett. We were at the cash register when Mr. Griffin stumbled in. He made such a commotion. The poor man looked just awful. We saw him collapse, but we didn't go to him. My husband and I don't really move that well anymore. I was glad to see that young woman help him. He looked so sick, but I never would have imagined that stuff would have popped out of him like that. It got all over the place, but I didn't think it got on us.
I thought he was drunk personally. Why else would somebody just stumble into the gas station? I was happy to see him leave. And no, I don't remember any of that gunk shooting out him getting on me or my wife.
But it must have, because by the time we got home, the hives were all over my face and hands.
And God help me, did it itch something terrible. I wanted to skin myself alive. It would feel better than whatever the hell this is.
The itch is the worst thing I've ever felt in my entire life. If I have to live like this, then I'm ready for the good Lord to take me.
We killed the neighbors. That's how we made the itching stop. I never hurt a soul a day in my life. I can't believe I did that, and I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive myself.
We invited them over for coffee and cookies. They were the sweetest little newlyweds I ever did see. I drugged them. William slit their throats. God forgive us. We're monsters.
They need the blood. After they eat up yours, they make you chase after someone else's. And the hungrier they are, the worse it is for you. The damn things won't let you rest unless they're fed.
The blood is the only thing that makes them go quiet. I swear you can hear them feeding, eating. It's not a rash. It's something worse.
William passed away on January 10th, 1998. Bonnie passed on the 11th. For more information on the patients exposed to the Omega helmets at the St. Roche gas station, please visit subsequent files.
Our favorite deep-sea cum-based worm rash is back, now in the form of 2 elderly people's skin.
That's my favorite flavor.
Let's break down what this new tape tells us. But first, if you didn't watch my first coverage on the Itch Files, as well as the original media, you should probably go watch them or else you'll be confused. If you're not gonna do that because you suck, here's a real quick rundown on the first coverage. Timestamp here for those who already know. A seemingly anomalous disease infected a patient 0 by the name of Scott Griffin after he touched a milky white discharge that came out of an unknown sea animal. He says he touched the cum by accident. I'm not so sure. Anyways, this disease causes incredible skin irritation and a rash that results in hives and cysts. The itching from this condition gets so severe that people often react violently, and for unknown reasons, murder those around them, and pour the blood in the open wounds that they've grown to quote-unquote feed them. After feeding these sores, they receive a euphoria unlike any other, and if the sores are not fed, the patient becomes increasingly erratic for fear that they will not live. This mental state could possibly be a form of mind control inflicted by the disease. Also, then Scott exploded, but not before infecting a bunch of other people. One of which being Melissa. It was from Melissa's case that we learned that this disease comes from a species of parasitic mind-controlling worms. And they all lived happily ever after, unless they happen to not be a worm. Now that we've got that cleared up, let's get into the new information. According to the couple, neither of them went over to Scott, meaning that A, they're selfish, and B, the disease pustules spread much farther than initially expected. Maybe when the pustules burst, the worms create some sort of mist that can spread throughout the air. In its airborne form, it would be almost invisible. The tiny worm eggs float on the breeze until they come into contact with human skin. Also, these old people are like way more brutal than anyone we've ever seen. They premeditated this murder. All the other victims just lost control of themselves. These boomer fucks lured a young newlywed couple into their house, drugged them, and slit their throats. We also know why these creatures need blood and fluid. They survive off of it, and eventually they drink their host dry like a juice box. Then they need more. This is why they need to feast on the blood and fluid of others to survive. One question I have about this is, could this be done with animal blood? If so, we could have a potential solution. But if you ask PETA, human blood is a better source. There's also one additional piece to this puzzle I don't understand. What was with the binary codes that flashed on screen so quickly? While making any guesses as to the nature of this phenomena based on nothing more than a screen flash would be unprofessional, I'm gonna do it anyway. These codes may signify that there might be some sort of computational or technological influence on whatever is going on here. But without any additional information, it's difficult to discern what exactly that influence might be. I wonder where we could get information. Oh, look, another tape! St. Roche, Quarantine File 7. Patient,
Eddie Teller.
Deleted.
Quarantine File 8, Patient Wendy Bailey.
Deleted.
Strange. Files 7 and 8 were deleted, but File 9 appeared fine. The following is Danny Miller's first-hand account of his encounter with Mr. Griffin. St. Roche Quarantine File 9, Patient Danny Miller.
No, I didn't see Mr. Griffin hobble in, but I sure as hell had to clean up after him. That crap was everywhere. It took me hours to scrub the station down. And let me tell you, that mess stinks. Hell no, I didn't touch the stuff. You think I want a disease or something? I put on a decent pair of rubber gloves before I got to work. I probably went through 8 bottles of bleach before I got that place back to where I wanted. When I got home, my hand was covered in hives. Later that night, I was scrubbing myself with a Brillo pad. I gotta tell you, this is driving me crazy. I would set myself on fire right now if it would get this stuff to stop itching. Hurt anybody? Why would I want to do that? I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to stop this damn itching. So what do you got for me? A shot? Some meds that'll make this thing go away? Please, can you help me?
Why did I make him sound like that? Danny Miller passed away on January 11th, 1998. The St. Roche gas station was locked down and sealed. No one was allowed to enter. After the pandemic was over, the location was burned. Staff from North Shore Research was able to procure several samples of the Omega helminths. The specimen survived despite being exposed to bleach and appears to be quite durable. Despite the obvious setback in St. Roche, North Shore Research will continue to explore the possible uses of genetically engineered advanced Tangipahoa encephalitis. However, it might be prudent to second-guess the AI's results before releasing onto the public.
Oh, fuck. They're doing this on purpose.
Also, Danny looks like handsome Squidward. And we know that gloves don't work, so probably neither will condom.
It appears that this new strain of worm comes from the old Tangy strain. However, they were modified using an AI.
Typical humans, just plugging a pandemic into ChatGPT and praying.
Why ever they did all this crazy-ass shit, they got themselves a mind-controlling skin worm now. You might ask, what the hell good is an itchy brain worm anyways?
Whoever's in charge may be able to invent a relief for the itch. Some sort of synthetic blood. Or maybe have lots of real blood. Or maybe something else. The point is, whoever can provide temporary salvation from the symptoms would have a great amount of power, especially if a significant portion of humanity were afflicted with this disease. Since the itch is unbearable, and people report they'd do literally anything to make it stop, it seems that these worms and an especially effective ointment would be the key to winning every election ever. Even though we know a lot more now, this still leaves a few loose ends. First off, it looks like something deleted 2 files. And if the binary glitch cuts are to tell us anything, it's possibly something of a technological nature.
A few things could be going on here. Now that we know someone is releasing this plague onto humanity on purpose, it could be that this greasy little bugger is trying to cover his tracks. It's also possible that the worms know a medical team is onto them, and they're manipulating infected individuals to delete files and do their bidding. Or, my theory, the AI is pulling the strings on an even grander level than the scientists. Or something goofy like that. If you like this video and want us to come back and check out the rest of this fantastic analog horror series, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with all notifications enabled, or I'll give you the itch with my cum. Make sure to go check out Vintage 8 and see the original videos, as well as some other great analog horrors. Shout out the Inner Circle. Love y'all. Ow.